And joining us now on the show to talk more about the latest, we have Attorney Allan Panolong, President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Good morning. Welcome back to the program.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Gretchen. It's good to be back in on the show.
Okay, Attorney, help us understand the first cases filed in court by the Office of the Ombudsman. Ito pong mga involved dito sa Oriental Mindoro na flood control project. Ano pong mga kaso ang na-file?
Yes, based on my readings, as we read in the publications, the cases filed are malversation of public funds and falsification, and also violation of Republic Act 1319, Section 3E, if I'm not mistaken. So these three crimes are closely interrelated with one another.
Oh, help us understand though, yung sabi ni Ombudsman Boying Remulla that we're trying to avoid plunder because medyo mahirap yan. I mean, what does that mean?
Unang-una, yung plunder kasi there must really be a proof that the public officer concerned was able to receive and enjoyed the money, the public funds to the tune of 50 million pesos or more. So given the factual circumstances, I think if you notice, there were allegations only on the alleged receipt of the kickbacks. But if you go over with malversation, it's quite easier to prove because the only thing that the prosecutor will have to establish that, number one, there is this public officer, and this public officer is under the law. He or she is in custody of the public funds, and the public funds was misused, misappropriated, or he or she appropriates it for himself, or he allowed, or through negligence, he allowed another person to do so. So, mas madali po siyang i-prove. Yung elements of the crimes are easier to prove than the plunder case.
But also, if it's easier to prove, does that mean lower? Lower threshold for penalties and punishment?
No. Yes, the malversation, of course, no, kasi ang malversation, falsification, it would depend on the amount of money being misappropriated or being appropriated. So, as the money goes higher, the penalty becomes heavier also. Unlike in the plunder na talagang automatic yun eh. The penalty is, if my memory serves me right, reclusion perpetua to death. So,
yes.
Having said that, the elements of malversation and falsification, as well as the violation of the anti-graft law, the elements thereof are much easier to prove than that of the plunder. Kasi yung plunder nga po, dapat meron po talagang proof that the accused was in receipt of the 50 million pesos public funds that being which is the subject of the plunder
Dito
case.
wala pong minimum dito sa
Wala eh.
malversation.
Oo. Basta ang sinasabi nandito is yung public officer in charge siya, in custody ng public funds na yun, then nagamit or nagamit yung pera na yun sa hindi dapat paggamitan, and that the public officer allowed somebody to use it by negligence. So ganun po yun.
Ano pong pagkakaiba ng malversation of public funds sa malversation of public funds through falsification of public documents? Pareho po ba yun o iba pong kaso yun?
Yung normally kasi when you malverse, naturally there is also a falsification, So actually these are two crimes, malversation and then falsification. When you say falsification, the offender tries to make it appear that something is regular on its form, but meron po siyang alteration na ginawa. Meron po siyang ginawang mga alterations doon, So to make it legitimate or genuine. Now, the malversation was committed by falsification, meaning to say, binago yung mga entries doon sa dokumento. So that is why it becomes malversation by falsification. Kasi nga,
Ngayon, ibig sabihin, kailangan may pagbabago po ng mga dokumento. Ibig sabihin po ba, ang makakasuhan lang dito ay ng malversation, yung mga directly involved in the transaction, such as, for example, the DPWH officials, mga contractor na hindi naging honest. Pero paano naman po ang mga lawmakers involved here? Kasama dito si Zaldy Co. He's been involved here. Could he possibly be charged with malversation?
He could be, no? Depending on the circumstances, because yun na nga, i-establish dyan kasi kung sino yung may custody, no? Kung sino yung mayroong custody ng public funds, and when that person or that public officer allowed it to be used, no? Not in accordance with its purpose. So yun po yun. So normally kasi the malversation is being committed by falsifying the documents. So any public officer wherein that document passes through these public officers and they affix the signatures, no, in order to perpetrate the crime or in order to commit a crime, so directly involved, meaning to say they are direct participants of the crime, and therefore they are also criminally liable.
But he did that through the halls of Congress, yung pagpapasa ng budget. Could he be held liable for insertions done to the budget, or is it more about him admitting that he administered the flow of money?
Yes, tingin ko po, if the insertion was really done surreptitiously, such that, kasi diba during the budget preparations, we all know that the House of Representatives and the Senate sometimes don't have the same version of the budget. So they come into bicameral conference. Doon po nagkakaroon ng insertion. So ngayon, when for instance, kung si Zaldy Co halimbawa, he did, no, on his own, no, or upon his instruction, did a surreptitiously inserted some portions of which the House and the Senate have no concurrence over this insertion, then he may be held liable for falsification, because in the first place, kapag surreptitiously done yan, walang consent yung Congress. So it is illegal.
Ang COA po ba, wala pong pananagutan dito? I mean, wala po siya sa listahan ng mga fa-filean po ng kaso kasi.
Ang COA kasi will come into play once the project has already been completed, because the concerned agency will report to the COA that, the appropriated money for this flood control project has been completed. Now, we are submitting our papers as proof of completion. So, ano yung isasubmit nila? The pictures, the project itself. So, if the COA negligently accepted the report without conducting verification on the project, na say for instance it was a ghost project, then they are criminally liable, administratively and criminally liable. So administratively for being negligent, they did not perform their job, and criminally liable, baka meron silang baka nakinabang sila doon. Kaya 'di ba? So
in the case of Oriental Mindoro, did you look into that? Because these are charges referred by the ICI, which you're partnered with, the IBP.
Yes.
Did you look into the COA's role when it comes to this one, the case of Oriental Mindoro?
Personally, I haven't. I was not privy to the preparation of that cases na being filed itong sa Oriental Mindoro, no, because the participation of the IBP would depend on the instruction of the ICI. So in these particular cases, we have no participation. But I understand, yes, I understand, Ms. Gretchen, that the COA, no, if obviously if it's a ghost project, talagang yung resident COA auditor mananagot dyan. Kasi ba't lumusot yan eh?
Wala po kasi sila sa listahan eh. Nakalagay lang dito, DPWH Region 4B, pati na rin yung Sunwest at si Zaldy Co as private respondents to that case. Okay, going now to Sunwest, what's the culpability of the board members? Wouldn't they be able to deny having first-hand knowledge of operational matters?
Yun, no? Kasi they are a corporate entity. So, yung as a normally under our laws, so if it's a corporate entity, meron po tayong tinatawag dyan na yung separate and distinct personality ng members ng board doon sa corporation. However, if there is proof that the members of the board of Sunwest are knowingly participating in the commission of the crime, meaning to say, sila mismo, since they are owners of the Sunwest Corporation, so sila mismo ay directly na nakikipag-transact, then they are criminally liable for that.
The whole board? Posible po yun?
Posible po because you know when you own a corporation, it is too impossible that you don't know the activities of your corporation or your company, correct? So having said that, especially so if it involves millions of contracts,
yes,
and you're dealing with government, so it is highly improbable that they are not. But it is Ms. Gretchen, it is a matter of showing in the allegation of the complaint the extent of participation of the members of the board. So kailangan kasi may pakita ano yung participation. Halimbawa, yung members ng board, they are the ones who signed the contract. Then they are the ones who also signed the a report stating therein that these projects were already completed and based on the contract. Lagot sila talaga doon. Mananagot sila.
Do you think there's enough proof to link Zaldy Co to the Sunwest board? He does claim na he's divested a long time ago. Ano kaya yung pwedeng mag-link po sa kanya dun sa Sunwest? Kasi related po ito dun sa ibang kaso ng Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act.
Yeah, 2019E. Oo. So, it may be if the former congressman is benefiting from the company, so he cannot really claim that he has divested completely from the company.
But you need to establish that, right?
Yes.
At
Of
paano?
course.
Paano
It has
po
to be.
kaya? Oo.
Kasi diba, the Sunwest is a family-owned corporation.
Yes.
So, the burden of proof is on his part to prove that he is in no way participating in the dealings of the corporation, or he in no way receiving any benefit from the corporation. So he has to prove that. However, yung prosecution also, yung on the part of the prosecution, kailangan din nilang mag-state ng facts linking Zaldy Co to Sunwest, that despite the divestment of his financial interest over that company, he still enjoys beneficial
relationship
interest. Yes, such that probably he enjoys the resources of the hindi nga siya nag-divest nga siya, but he is using the company vehicle. He is using the airplanes. Diba? Kasi may mga
kasi yun po yung sinasabi rin po niya na yung air assets ay hindi kanya. Sa Mississippi's Aviation yun.
Yeah, but if he is enjoying it freely, so how could you ever enjoy freely a particular asset kung wala kang interest doon, di ba?
Yes.
Who would ever allow you to use it for free?
All right.
So, yun po yun.
Zooming out from this case in Oriental Mindoro, this is the first batch of cases to be filed by the Office of the Ombudsman. It's curious to me why Mindoro was chosen as the forefront of this move, this action by government, when majority of the testimonies in Congress were about the Bulacan,
Bulacan.
First District projects. Bakit po kaya hindi nauna yon? At ito pong inuna?
Maybe it depends on the case build up. Because while it may be true that the Bulacan is much controversial compared to that of the Mindoro, no? But maybe the documents available, the documents insofar as the Mindoro cases are concerned are already available. So kaya siguro inuna yun. So it would depend actually, Ms. Gretchen, on the availability of the evidence. So no matter how controversial the issue is, but if the evidence is one thing, hindi po tayo makakapile ng corresponding courses of action pag incomplete.
Okay, speaking of evidence, Zaldy Co's statement via social media and video, could this be admissible in court?
For one, in filing criminal cases, no? Kasi we are talking about criminal cases here. If the statements of Zaldy Co will not be formalized such that it will not be reduced into an affidavit, well, he will undertake an oath before the office of the prosecution, no, or before the prosecutors of the ombudsman. So wala po siyang evidentiary weight. It is just a statements, kumbaga parang leading statements lang to. These are just statements that are giving what's this, parang nagbibigay lang siya ng leads doon sa ating mga investigators, but the statement itself cannot really be admitted in evidence because the rules of evidence is very strict on this particular matter. Number one, pag halimbawa tulad nitong video, no, so marami kasi siyang mga allegations na mabibigat na binitawan doon, those such that he needs to take an oath so that the other parties also will afford the opportunity to refute or to rebut the allegations.
And does that oath have to be taken in Philippine soil?
In our system of in our criminal law system, especially I'm referring to the rules of court at saka yung administrative order issued by the Department of Justice. Kapag maghahabla po na tayo ng kaso, kinakailangan po yan panumpaan before the office of the prosecutor. So kung sa probinsya, office of the provincial prosecutor, or if in the city, office of the city prosecutor.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, even the witnesses, say for instance, Zaldy Co is not even the complainant himself. Gagawin siyang testigo. Kailangan nandun din siya, manunumpa din siya. So yun po yung proseso natin yun. So
Hindi pwedeng representative lamang.
yes,
Oo.
hindi po pwede. Oo. Kasi ang intention po doon, Miss Gretchen, is that if the person taking an oath commits false statements, so that person may be held liable for perjury.
Paano po kaya kung kunwari tinuloy po niya yung Zoom with the Senate sa Blue Ribbon Committee? Pwede po yun. Will that hold weight?
Well, that depends on the rules of the Senate. Kasi ganun ang sistema kasi natin, Ms. Gretchen, is like for instance, if you talk about filing cases, it depends on the rules of court. So ngayon, we are talking about the Senate conducting its hearing in aid of legislation. It would depend on their rules. So if the rule says they will allow resource person to be interviewed or to be interviewed through virtual means like Zoom or any other means of virtual communications, then it would be possible. But then again, we come to that very important question. What is then the weight or the sufficiency or the evidentiary weight nung sasabihin niya? Just the same. Kasi kung magpa-file ka ng kaso, gagamitin mo yon. Paano mo ngayon magagamitin? Kuan nga yun
it was done through virtual hearing, kailangan panumpaan pa rin niya yun eh.
Pero, di ba
Because
usually nag-administer naman po ng oath sa Senado bago ka mag-testify. So if he took the oath virtually and he would have been required, pwede po yun.
ay, pwede naman yun. Kaya
So
for
that
purposes
that kind of explains the last minute decision of the Blue Ribbon Committee chairman to disinvite Zaldy Co to prod him to come back and do a statement before I mean in person.
Pwede,
Okay.
pwede naman yun. But then again, another, I think, another purpose for which the resource persons are being asked to take an oath is that for purposes of filing cases. Now, if you file case, paano natin magagamit yun ngayon? Kasi baka Zaldy Co may not appear. So, ganun. Same story.
Same as with the Discayas, but there is a danger that they might change their affidavit when it comes to the official one, the official documents submitted to the Ombudsman, to the DOJ, dun sa kanilang testimony sa Senado. So paano po yun? Paano isa-settle yun kung magkaiba?
Yun. So, we especially so if the affidavits are conflicting, the two affidavits contain conflicting statements. So it will destroy the credibility of the Discayas. Oh, yes, because
So it could be held against them by the prosecution.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Because if they say something in the first affidavit and in the second affidavit, it's tantamount to recanting the statement. So magkakaroon ngayon ng kuan. So it will now be subjected to a test of credibility where only the court can resolve that matter.
Okay, I want to go to what was revealed yesterday, the Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Ito nga pong lumabas na mga pangalan, sabi rin po ni Ombudsman Remulla, si Trigib Olaybar, Adrian Bersamin, pati si Secretary Mina Pangandaman. Dito po na pong tinitignan ng IBP at saka ng ICI na maaaring role nila.
The roles that may be looked into is the manner of kasi din yung the manner of the insertions, no, because that's what I read over the news, no, yung the manner for which the projects were or the items were inserted in the budget. But then again, these are not complete, there's no complete facts yet, so we cannot really state with categorically kung ano yung ano. Kasi kumbaga, the transactions are very personal to them, so we are not private to it.
How about the legal weight of Congressman Levice's allegations that a sitting party list representative, specifically Congressman Edwin Guardiola, is buying and selling DPWH projects?
Oh, well, if that statement of Congressman Levice is verified and proven to be correct, that's a serious offense. Because as a matter of law and as a matter of practice, a lawmaker should not be involved into that kind of transaction. So actually, when I came across that information only yesterday, so it's a very serious offense. It's a very serious offense because it would involve violations of several laws. It could even be a violation of the anti-graft law, among other related laws. Because as a congressman, wala po sila business to be interfering or to be engaged in the implementation of that. Lalo na proprietary, may mga involved na accordingly, may mga percentages, no? Binibili yung project for 20%. And then,
Pero ano ang palagay ninyo sa most guilty here? Senator Jinggoy Estrada has been quoted as saying, sino bang mastermind ng mga ghost project? Hindi ba yung di ba yung mga engineers dyan sa DPWH, hindi naman mga senador, hindi naman mga congressman. Kung for example, ang nagluto ng proyekto ay DPWH engineer or district office, could they be identified as the mastermind tapos binigyan na lamang ng cut itong people in power? Is it possible to see it that way? Or dahil mas mataas ang posisyon nitong lawmakers natin, ay they would be on the same plane?
Well, unang-una, kaya nga po na-approve yung budget for that is because of the intervention of the lawmaker. So they are all principally liable for that. Meaning to say, all of them will be treated as principal by direct participation. Pare-pareho po sila ng participation because, for one, the act of one is necessary to carry out the purpose of the crime. So, ibig sabihin, yung extent, yung degree of participation, halos pare-pareho. Like halimbawa, yung lawmaker, he purposely identified the project. Then, he, again, and through the participation of the officers from the DPWH in order to carry out that purpose, sila yung nag-execute. So pare-pareho sila ng degree of participation. We call it law as principal by direct participation because for one, they have the same intent and purpose. No? So they have one singular mind, that is to defraud the government. So hindi po masabi nung lawmaker na no, sila yung supposedly they are the implementing agency, so they are the ones responsible. But the thing is, nakinabang siya. And the lawmaker was the ones who identified the project. It would not have also be included, no, in the items in the items of the GAA, if not for that of the intervention of the lawmaker. Alam naman po natin yung budgeting system eh. The lawmaker usually identifies the project in his district. In the case of the congressman and the case of the senators, kung sino yung beneficiary ng proyekto under his so-called parang PDAF, ganon.
Well, they can sign and look away. Medyo marami kasing layers ito na pwedeng idaan sa mga intermediaries, and pero basta pumirma, basta dumaan sa opisina nila, they cannot escape accountability. As a final question, how is the working relationship of the ICI and the IBP? Ano po mga pinapasa sa IBP ng ICI at paano po nagtutulungan ang dalawang ahensya?
I think last month we went to ICI. We went to the executive director Hosaka because we informed him about the readiness of our lawyers, and then yung guidelines po na namin, no, yung so far as the collaboration is concerned, inayos muna namin because there was this request that the lawyers coming from the IBP will participate in the investigation of cases brought before the ICI should not be in any way related to the congressman or officers na involved. So, gumawa po tayo ng paraan na kung saan meron po tayong pina-execute, no? Ipapa-execute ng documents for our lawyers that they are not in any way related to any congressman, either by blood relationship, consanguinity, or kliyente ba nila or kan, because we understand also that it may affect the judgment of the lawyer.
Nandun pa lang po tayo.
Yes, nandun pa lang tayo. Then, but we already have identified also yung mga areas where we will come in. Kasi what we thought of insofar as the IBP is concerned is that we'll do our own case build-up, then pagbigay sa kanila. Kasi kung pag-uusapan pa namin, matagal eh. So, it will take time. So, we will endorse to them cases that we already investigated.
So, ano po mga kaso yung nakikita niyo pwede kayo pumasok? Ano po mga kaso?
Same thing. Yung more on verification, validation of... in fact, we already received reports coming from our chapters.
Okay.
As far as Visayas, oo, meron po kaming, oo.
Okay. Maraming salamat no for helping us understand the legal side of this investigation and how it will come down to our courts. We have Attorney Allan Panolong, President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, which is a partner of the ICI. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Gretchen, and maraming salamat po sa ating mga kababayan.